All right, guys, welcome to the first ever JBL Masterclass. You guys excited? All right, condom's good. So I'm Ashish Paliwal. I do influencer marketing for JBL. And like you guys, I'm also a huge fan of Quix. Also produce music, and I'm super stoked for this. So I hope you guys are too. And take it away, buddy.
Thanks, man. I'm just going to hit screen recording. Is that right? Yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, shoot. Okay, this is crazy because I don't have no idea how to start this. Okay, what's up, everyone? My name is Jono, and I'm from New Zealand. I'm 24 years of age. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Olivia, who's over there. Say what up. Yeah, she deserves multiple claps. I'm just going to go through a bit about myself, and then I'm going to jump into a couple of sessions that I've done, a few songs, and then we're going to do like a little Q&A at the end. It's going to be tight. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. Shoot, you can probably see a few photos of from me up there. Here is me starting out, getting heard, branding, touring, producing examples, and then obviously questions. Kind of just what I explained. Okay, I play the drums, and that's me top right or middle right at like a little church camp, and I was just fresh on the sticks. And then that's me to the left. I was probably like 13 or 14 years old playing in bands and having a good old time. I wanted to do a little quote just saying, at the end of the day, it's all about music. Like, for me personally, there's no other reason to continue my journey of this life if it's not always about music. Another one, there we go. That's a little like house party that I did. Does anyone know what that DJ controller's called? DJ Quix. So that was my first ever controller, and I had that hooked up to Virtual DJ. Anyone start out on Virtual DJ? Yeah, that was tight. Anyway, I'm gonna discuss getting heard. It's been a crazy kind of journey for me, like starting from about 9 years old, I started playing drums. And then up until I was about 18 was when the whole like Quix thing started happening. I've always been Quix as well. Like since I was like 11 and 12 years old, like it's like derived from my last name in German means quick. And then one of my best mates was like, name yourself Quix. And I'm like, nah, that's dumb. Like that's silly. And then it kind of like caught on. And, here we are. So I started playing drums when I was 9, and is my phone being weird? No, it's not. I started playing drums when I was 9, led into playing guitar, bass, and a little bit of keyboard, and picked up Fruity Loops when I was like 14, and started making, it wasn't even a genre. I mean, it probably was like 140 BPM trance music. So I guess that's what you could call it, but it was melodies for me. It was all melodic, writing the sickest melodies. I didn't care about like drums, or I had no idea how to like audio engineer anything. It was like, just find the piano roll on Fruity Loops and just set your BPM and then have the sickest melodies. And from there it was a gradual stage of self-taught music production, and I wanted to be a DJ because that was kind of the transition of how to go from left to right, going from like an acoustic guitar songwriter would be in their bedroom writing songs or like covering songs all day, and then they'd go out to the bar and then they would play a set, or they would just do they'd just do covers for And so I thought that was how it would translate. So I'd go and be a DJ and play clubs, and the photo up here on the top right or middle, whatever, that was me playing like a 21st for like a friend, and that's obviously an upgraded controller. It's the SX, and that's what I would do. I would do all my friends' 21st. I would do all my friends like weddings and birthdays, and there wasn't a lot of them as well. Like it was when I could. It wasn't like I was like in demand, but it was. I would be offering as well. I'm gonna go to the next one. Actually, no. I'm not gonna go to branding just yet. I'm still super fresh into talking, so I'm getting the hang of it. We'll get on a flow soon as well. When I got my first DJ gig at like 18, properly in like a club in Auckland, New Zealand, where I'm from, and it was using this controller here. Like I brought that little thing and plugged it into the mixer and played from about 9 to 10 p.m. playing house music because they didn't let me play trap. They were like, nah, you have to play house music. And then I had like parents coming over asking for U2, and I was like, I don't play really U2. I'm sorry, but you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna look at branding real quick. For me, that's super important, but it's not something that I'm always focused on and concentrated on about. I do leave that up to my team, and especially a big blessing for me is having my wife, who is amazing at branding, and she's done a whole like degree in it. And if I go next, we can see a few cool photos. Sick tips for branding yourself is being real and being active and caring, especially about caring about your fans and knowing your fans as well, asking what's in it for them, like why would they care to really follow what you're doing, making sure you have a great team behind you, and obviously it's all about the music at the end of the day. Oh yeah, here's some more photos. Anyone go to Holy Ship? Anyone been on Holy Ship? Yeah. That was, I just came off Holy Ship. That's that right on the photo on the right. Touring. I'm gonna talk about touring for a bit. I've been touring for like 2 years now, and I'm getting warm in this actually. I'm throwing this off. Oh, actually no. Thank you. Yeah, that's all good. I've been on the road touring for like, I think 3 years now. And it's been like, it started from just doing weekend shows from when I was in Auckland, and I'd go over and I'd play Australia. I'd play like a weekend, I'd do like 1 or 2 shows in Australia, and I'd come back. And it wasn't really until I went and the song I made with Boombox Cartel, Supernatural, that song really did a lot for me and took me essentially, what's up? Nah, we're good. That song really took me to America, essentially. That kind of blew me up and took me to that next level where a lot of artists started playing that song out at big festivals, and I got a lot of traction from that and made the move to America. And with a great team behind me, we planned out like the first Quix tour in America. Then that turned into more tours. When we thought we were coming over for like 10 shows a couple of years ago, turned into like a 40-date tour. And then now we're posted up here in LA while we're on tour. Continuing on from that, we've had, I think, like 3 or 4 more tours, and then we're about to announce another tour now. Tour is insane. It's so much fun, and also pretty grueling as well. There's a lot of flight, a lot of flying. If you don't love flying and you want to be a touring artist, love to like flying. It's insane. It's also really good when you fly a lot, you get to build your miles up, and you get those sweet upgrades all through a couple of airlines. It's great. The shows are great. The shows, doing back-to-back shows, like going, all right, so we're flying to San Fran. We do a show there, and that's from like 12:30 to 2 a.m. Then we have another 6 a.m. flight, and I fly to Atlantic City, and I do a little Vegas club play there from 1 to 2:30 a.m. And then we have another 10 a.m. flight over to Philly, or not to Philly, sorry. I'm actually like, this is like a tour schedule that I'm remembering. I did a few connections, but we connected in Philly, and I flew to New Orleans, and then I played another hour and a half set there, 7 a.m. flight back to LA, and I pretty much died by the time I was in LA, and I just was like, enough, that was too much. And the thing that sucks about touring is a lot of the tiredness, and I mean, it doesn't really get seen by a lot of people. It's just you and you alone, and that's why it's super amazing that I tour with my wife, a little emotional support for each other, and we get to kind of back each other up in the tough times where it's, I'm expected to play and expected to perform and be Quix, and it's amazing. And in the moments, man, it's so much fun on the stage and having fun, but off stage can be kind of brutal when you kind of feel like, oh man, this is so much, and tiredness kicks in, and when you're up for 24, 30 hours straight, it's like, yeah, the major fights me and my wife have are at airports. Like, that's it. Festival shows, club shows are amazing. Club shows, obviously, a lot more intimate. You get to it's almost like this, where we're in a club, and I get to just be with like a couple of hundred people, and we get to just jam out for an hour and a half. Festivals are sick. They're always a lot bigger, have crazy production, which is fun because you get to be like triggering fireworks and you're ripping your trap bags and stuff like that. It's insane. But producing on the road is really tough as well for me. I don't work well when I produce on the road, just because I feel like when I want to get creative, I need to have like I need to be in like the right mindset. I don't know. I need to have food in me. I need to like have had a coffee and like get zoned in. So producing on the road, I have had a few situations where it's like, this needs to be done now, and like you have to just crank out the laptop, and sometimes it's on the plane, and that sucks because you're just like crammed in this little thing and I hate working on the mouse pad. On the touchpad, I always have a mouse. Work with a mouse, man. It's amazing. Yeah, and obviously like having the best attitude is amazing, especially for like the person with you touring and the people that you meet at the clubs. I'm, say, one of 3 DJs that a promoter has to deal with in 1 week, and if I can come through with like the best attitude and be like, what's up? Like, let's have a great show, and that goes a long way for me, and obviously, yeah, having the best team. And there's my team. There's me, my wife, my agent, Corey. If I go left to right, Justin, who is an amazing guy, works under Mark, who was on the far right, and works very closely with our team. So from Justin, Corey from the left to now, the next guy, is my agent, and then my wife, and then myself, and then my manager, Mark. And they're a beautiful group of people. What's up? I just make beats, bro. I love like if it all comes down to producing and the I guess if you boil it all down, it's about the music, as I said before. And let me go. Let me just keep going through. I want to just talk about these photos because they're flipping sick photos. The top right photo is me and Drew Taggart, aka one half of Chainsmokers. He is a boss and an insane writer and producer and crazy person. So I got to go to their house where they have their studio, and it's like every producer's dream. It's insane, and we've been working together, and yeah, they're insane. And then the photo to like the left of it, it's a little bit smaller. It's me holding up a Rick and Morty toy, Mr. Poopy Butthole. I'm sorry, excuse my language. And wearing headphones, and I'm recording him. He's laying down some vocals. And then the bottom right photo is me and my best friend, Lorne Padman, who's an absolute legend. He helps me on a lot of my tracks in terms of an A&R perspective. Works very closely with Dim Mak as the vice president, and Dim Mak's been amazing to me and helped me a lot. If it might be really hard to see, but in the photo with me and Lorne, if you look in the back left corner, you may see Steve Aoki. Is it visible? Can you see it? No? Damn. Okay, well there's a mannequin Steve Aoki, and he's in the corner holding this like orb ball thing that like lights up. It's sick. I want to go through just like kind of my producing kind of process and ideas. I love starting with like acapellas, like remixing songs. Then after I've like kind of got an idea for like what that, remixing that acapella, you just take that acapella off and you have an original idea. It's an awesome way to get into like getting original ideas by like feeling creative and basing ideas off what other people are doing and turning it into your own thing. Spotify tunes versus club bangers. I mean, bangers doesn't have to be in the club; could be festival bangers. There's a good difference between those two because you're appealing to different markets. You're appealing to I don't know, dads and mums, the Spotify tunes, people who don't go to clubs, people who don't go to festivals, not even mum and dad, anyone. Like, I was just referencing older people because, I feel like all younger people are like into the bangers, but I've made quite a few songs that have been really good for Spotify, and it really kind of widens my market to go, I can actually like produce not just like SoundCloud bangers or just beat loops or something like that, but I can actually make songs that go a lot further than just like being like a 2-minute song that has just 2 drops and it has this weird vocal at the start. And I mean, they intertwine, and some of them do work, some of them don't work, but being able to open yourself up to that market is just, there's a lot more opportunity in there as well. And also it's it's amazing for me because I feel I can get a bit more creative and with my music tastes. And I mean, like yesterday I was working on this like techno beat, and it's this nothing that I've ever tried making before, but it was like super weird. And I'm like, I mean, if this doesn't work, I could, we could see who else wants it. But it was also like a cool creative process for me to get out of my normal zone of trying to make, the dirtiest bangers. But and then the club bangers are just always the funnest to make because it's, I don't know, it's what I feel like it's what I like started out trying to replicate. I tried, copying other or being influenced by other people's beats and songs, and to come out with my own my own kind of version of like what that sounds like, but with my touch on it. Collaborations. That's, I think, is the best move to further yourself as a producer and also as an artist, because I feel like that's like one of the main reasons why I started moving along my timeline of being an artist and DJ so quickly, was like I collaborated with a lot of like, not like huge artists above me, but like maybe one step ahead of me that knew a few more things that I didn't know. And so therefore, like when we would change sessions with each other, I would be able to be like, oh man, you like, this is how you like compress that kind of bass synth, or you lay out it this way, and I learned so many things by just collaborating with different DJs or artist producers that were above me. And also it's great because you get to reach a wider market. So like when you advance along the timeline a little bit, you open yourself up to their fans that you're doing. So obviously I've been working with the Chainsmokers, and the track that we've been working on has the potential to obviously open me up personally to their audience, which, you know, I know they've gone like different directions in the pop world and in the banger world, and I get to be like, in a way, like placed into their kind of realm of things and get to gain some of their traction. Hell knows why they wanted to work with me. It's crazy. I don't know. They're amazing people. They're like the most insane people ever. Top lines are, like, as I said before, like grabbing like acapellas, like, and remixing them is a great way to start original ideas. And then obviously what I'm going to lead into with the track "Giving Up" that we're gonna jump into the session. The top line for "Giving Up," Jaden sent me through Dim Mak, sent me the top line, and I pretty much wrote the instrumental to it. I mean, there was this like rock instrumental already they had, and I stripped that all back and I slowed the vocal down and put my touch on it, and then that's what the song is today. Looking at labels, there are a lot of great labels out there that are doing really awesome things, and Dim Mak's one of them, helping me out and pushing my music so much. Some people get skeptical about like, I don't want to sign away my life, but I also like want to be big and like, be the best. And so labels are great because they are able to essentially like invest into your product, into your vibe, what you're trying to do, and I guess they just take a little piece of the cake. But overall, if it's done right, the cake just gets bigger, and your brand starts to get bigger, and you guys work together up and up and up, and that's what's happened with Dim Mak and I, and it's terrific. And so there are so many other great labels out there that are doing that with other artists, and second to last one, mastering. Mastering my records. I used to master all my own stuff, and didn't really sound great. I had no idea what I was doing, give it that. But Dim Mak has been amazing, and I have the opportunity to have one of their amazing people jump onto my projects and actually make it sound amazing. Now, mastering, there's a difference between mixing and mastering, where mixing is getting your sounds and actually finding the right levels and bringing stuff up and down. But mastering is obviously a whole new game that I'm still learning. It's crazy, but I do a lot of my own mixing, and then mastering is done by this guy. And Lorne, the guy in the photo at the bottom right, I asked him, I'm like, I know that the mastering guy that Dim Mak have his name's Steve Scanlon, by the way. He's an absolute legend. I asked Lorne, I'm like, who has this guy like mixed and mastered for? And live mixed, and he listed me out the names. He said mastering, mixing, Avicii, the Chainsmokers, Stay Loose, Keys and Crates, Rain Man, Watch the Ducks, Steve Aoki, Anga Dimas, Henry Fong. Live mixing, so this is at like shows, pretty much the biggest rock bands in Australia. He's mixed 50-piece orchestra, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, Chris Brown, T-Pain, Ice Cube, Kelly Rowland, Nelly, Teo Cruz, Akon, Busta Rhymes, Pitbull, Sean Paul, and Jay Sean. So this guy is a boss. And I was just like, this guy is like working on my silly beats. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. And then the last one on this little list was just releasing. And I've had like a journey of releasing music from, just throwing up on SoundCloud whenever I felt like it. And then when I had managers come on board and be like, hey, let's like space it out a bit. Let's like, if we have a really good song, let's put it out. Let's put a little bit of, let's get a blog behind it. Let's, push it a little bit, because releasing a song a week isn't going to make you huge. You could release one song like every 6 months. That's an absolute stomper, and you could blow up way faster that way. And a great example of that, Boombox Cartel, I'm assuming a lot of people have heard of them, good buddies of mine, they released 5 songs in 2018. You can count back like the actual songs they released, and they're still, growing, and they're still blowing up as ever, So the whole releasing game is kind of crazy, where you don't need to be like throwing content out as, like machine gun fire content, but you can space these things out, but making sure that what you're putting out, obviously, your content is quality. So yeah, obviously quality over quantity, essentially. All right. Giving Up is 3.12 meters long. No, I'm joking. Giving Up's one of my biggest songs, which is crazy. And it got a lot of Spotify love, which is insane. Spotify is kind of like the new SoundCloud, which is interesting. I kind of started out on SoundCloud, so then when Spotify started being like the big thing, I was like, I have no idea what this green circle means. So let's play some music as well, which is going to be dope, because I'm kind of almost tired of hearing myself speak. Zing. I'm on Fruity Loops, by the way, if you haven't guessed yet. And anyone else on Fruity Loops? What's up, Fruity Loops? Anyone on Ableton? Yeah, a lot of you. Anyone else like Pro Tools? Logic? What's up? Reason? I shouldn't be doing that. What's up, man? Reason. I've never tried Reason. It looks crazy. Anyone that I didn't mention? Cubase, Complete, Reaper. I see you. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's just make sure. I used to get so scared of falling hard. Okay, so this is the session that I stemmed everything out of. Now, I'm really, really sorry, because this is a mess. It's actually not a mess. In my eyes, this is really pretty good. If I like alt this and go out, it kind of looks like, that's kind of what it looks like. I'm gonna play it through. I don't know what I really should do. I'm kind of just going through this and winging it a little bit, but let's just go through it, and I'll just talk over little bits and as we go, and then I can get into little details later. This is all the vocals. vocal layers here. And I'm just gonna jump into the second verse here. All these intricate things are this one loop here. Just a cheeky outro. Moody pad, yes. That's crazy. I mean, I haven't opened this session for a long time, to be honest. It's been a while. I want to just go through it kind of like, not step by step. Oh, guys, stop it. Thank you, guys. It's awesome. So Jaden sent me this vocal, and this is probably the... like the 10th session I've had it open in. Like I think I wrote like 3, 4, 5 drops for this and never could get it right. And then I think by the 5th session that I had it open in, like what I'd do is I'd like, duplicate the session just so I had an old backup copy if I needed to revert to anything. And then I would have this session open and I'd change this and be like, cool. And I'd maybe go down a path and be like, oh man, actually no. This is like, I'm digging myself into the dirt here. I need to go back, and then I'll kind of go back to the old session. But it was at like session 5 that I found the second drop. I made the second drop, which was the big synth chord, because I wanted to make this song have like a first banger drop, which it's kind of the opposite in this song, where the future bass, amazing, magnificent melodic part is first, and the club banger track part is second. But so in like the 5th session, I made this future bass thing, which turns out to be, and that's a combination of obviously. I'm gonna see what happens if I solo this and play it. So it's layers upon layers of chords, and I've got 2 different types of synths happening, which is here and here, here and here, and then I have a sub bass, and then I have this crazy arpeggiator thing that I did here that I'm gonna solo for you. And that's just playing the chords, the same chords along. And then, yeah, obviously sub bass. That's not playing. There we go. This is what the way I layer my synths, I do like a top kind of registered synth and I do a mid synth. And this is all done through Massive. And then the top one, the top synth. Then together with the sub bass on underneath is. Now, I'm not amazing at the whole sound design world, but in the mid synth, I don't know, what am I looking at? I think part of this is also the way that I've got it on the channel is I've got a multi-band. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. Essentially, like what you want to try and do is get a good sounding mid-range synth and then a top range synth, and obviously layer them together until you're happy. And it's taken me a while to like get something that I like. It's been a while. So finally, after I like, it was even like another song that I was trying to make. I found the perfect blend of these chords, and I knew that these work together, so I kind of just saved them. So this one's called Big Mid Synth, and then this one's Big Top Synth. So I've just saved those presets, and they work beautifully. I want to go through more of the track. A good key for the one of the great things about this song is this R that's going through the whole drop. Cheeky pops in there. And I think I did that off what this is here, but I must have just put some verb on it and bounced it to audio. And then if I just make sure I mute those, because it's just subtly in the background, giving it this like really nice feeling. The influence for this drop was also like all of RL Grimes' future bass vibes. How he has these like sick hats going in the like I'll mute the synths and whatnot, but like he has these sick hats going through the back like. I was thinking about this before the session. I was like, actually, a good point to give you guys is ghost notes and how you can make your drums come to life so much more is using. It's so easy. You just get the same. I'm pretty sure these are the same. They actually don't look the same samples, but so I'll bring like say one of them at full volume. And I bring the offbeat one down half, and all of a sudden you've got these ghost notes that sound like, it's sounding super realistic. And then you do that with snares, you do that with kicks. You just bring instead of having all these kicks that sound at the same level to you could bring those kick levels down for the ones before, and have these ghost notes coming through, and boom, 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 you know. See, if I play them both at the same, they're gonna sound trash. Hold on. Flipping Macs, man. Anyone Fruity Loops got a Mac? Yeah, it's brand new for me. I've been on PC for so long. Let's continue. I want to go. What is some other cool stuff? So this drop, I knew that I just didn't want to make another future bass drop. For the second drop, I wanted something exciting, but we figured out that it was a good call to put the future bass drop at the start and really grab everyone's attention with the magnificence of it, and then the second drop, smash it with that classic Quix banger. So without this like weird synth that I have going in, this is what it sounds like. The synth by itself, I really hope this works. Because with me and Fruity Loops, man, I just have everything on the playlist. So if I just, you have your automations, you have, and I'm gonna freak all of you Ableton people out right now. Is that I get like a pattern that I've done. I don't even know what this is. Oh, sick. Use that for later. Then I have this random automation from one of the vocal automations that's doing nothing because it's a straight line. I'm gonna throw that on top of the pattern, and then also I'll go out and just find some audio. Found this audio, and I could throw that on top there as well. And then also I could copy paste that whole thing, throw it on top of each other again, and just it's really dumb, but with Fruity Loops, it's for the creative people, you gotta, it's, FL gang, man. So let's see what that synth sounds like. Oh, I'm gonna put that on it because that's the pitch bend for it. So this, I named it second drop lead, yes. Okay, cool. This is the most, making this is the most basic sound ever. And this is I've saved this other places I can mess with this right now, so. That sounds dope as well. So it's a square wave, and I have a bit of chorus on it. Chorus, I think, really takes it to the next level. If I just play it without the chorus. No, that still's good. Dimension. To be honest, I don't know what makes this sound really good. What is it? I mean, it's very basic. It's almost the default sound in Massive. The vibrato, maybe? It's probably the parabolic shaper. Take that off. Nah. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, look at all this processing. Look, I take all this off. This is going to sound trash. Why is this not sounding bad? I can't make this sound bad. Hey, maybe it's, I don't know. I was really trying to make it sound bad for you guys to show you, but sometimes it's just those default sounds that are really good. I also love Massive. It's my favorite thing. And going into it, All right, high. And then I'm gonna just put this on loop so we can just play around a massive. Anyone love massive? Yeah, what's up? Love massive, it's so good. It's so easy to get a good sound with like 2 clicks. So if you just make sure that the 4th envelope is like sounding tight, that's already sounding tight. And that's pretty much the sound that for giving up. Well done. We made it. Yeah, and there was a chorus and then dimension expander. Yeah, we made it. But I love throwing a bit of classic tube, on there. One of the best things is this one called Carbon. I don't know if any of you know about Carbon. Now you do. Check this out. So I'm gonna just go again to show you how easy this is. So making sure this is sounding flat, drop that down to 12 where it sounds good, throw it on Carbon, and you got like 12 sounds out of that just then. So even that sounds brutal. And then just I'm having fun. I might just make a song, guys, sorry. Do you guys mind waiting while I make a song? Yeah. So that's like my favorite thing ever is Carbon. And there's so many like that. What's my time at? I really because that's kind of giving up like the main kind of sounds. I really wanted to try and go through my song All I Have. I'm gonna hit no to not saving any of what I just did. All I Have is a song that I wrote with this girl called Aviella, and she sent me a vocal. Pretty much, this is funny. She sent me the demo vocal, and then we ran out of time, and we needed to hand in the song, so we used the demo vocal as the final vocal, and I don't know how it went from how it sounded when I first got it to how it sounds now, but it sounds good. So it's amazing. And I'm still waiting for this to go. Oh yeah, here we are. That's all right. I don't need that fruity blood overdrive. That's when I changed to Mac and I just didn't like the blood overdrive anyway. This is, I don't know how many of you have heard the original song, but this is like a earlier demo. I have 7 minutes before we answer questions, and so let's just check this out. And also, Carbon, the massive wavetable, is used in the first drop, and I'll go through it. This is an earlier version, so there's a few things that have changed.
Everything is perfect, and lately I am learning that I can't trust it.
Sorry, that piano is originally sounds super chorusy and old and whatnot. It's originally meant to sound like this. Sorry. It's sick. You could take the worst piano sound ever, get it to how you want it to sounding, and then with a reverb and compression and whatnot, and then just drop it down a whole octave and sorry guys. Whole new sound. It's sick. I don't know. I discovered that and I was like, oh, that's happening.
Everything is perfect, and lately everything is burning.
Boring. Build, let's go. Here we go. Okay. So this is kind of what I've got going on. So this is obviously on carbon here. Second half. Oh, so this is where it drops down to the next section, and you can see that on here the whole wavetable just like goes boom, and you'll see it on here go too. And that was the process of me just like lowering this enough to be like, all right, where's the sweet spot? So I mean, if I could bring it here and be like. Still sounds sick.
Drop them.
I mean, I'm behind the speakers right now, so it doesn't sound right to me, but hopefully it sounds good to you. This is also like one of the earlier demos, so it gets a bit crazy in these sessions, as you can like see. You're like, what the hell are you doing, Jono? You like, this looks nuts. Like, only you could figure this out, and that's right, only I could figure it out. But sometimes it even gets too intense for me, and what I do is I have to go out and bounce stem to audio my whole song and then like put it in a new session and work out of that, because I don't know, it's just like a more easier creative process to work when everything's not scattered, and I don't, there are some people out there and that are amazing at organization, and I'm not one of them. So props to you guys. I don't even really want to go to the second drop because I heard it before and it's a mess and it doesn't sound great, but we'll just flip and hear it anyway.
By myself, I'm all I have.
As you can see that I like stemmed a bunch of it out into audio because it's a lot easier to work that way. I have no idea where the actual chords were. They're probably somewhere in my little list of, yeah, that's crazy. This could be like a session and I made the chords in another session and brought it in, potentially. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of the time when I'm working with synths and with chord synths, like big future bass synths and stuff like that, and I want to stem them out, and they have very like intense chops and parts in that, what I do is I'll stem it to audio, and then I'll physically see the waveform go through and go through with a volume automation and go and tidy it up a bit and go through and figure out what needs to, like maybe there's a part there that it's like popping. You can see here, it comes through and it's like as it plays. I'll see if it happens here. That, I hate those things and I don't know how they happen. They're just magical. Maybe that's not even helping that. I don't know. But a good way is when you're going through and you have big synth chords that have the opportunity for those little pops to happen. A good little trick is to like go bounce it to audio, actually see what the heck's going on and take those bits out so that when you're like, okay, I actually know that my work doesn't have these little pops or like scratches in it that happen like that. I'm like sick of myself hearing myself, so I want to like go to Q&A. So however that's gonna work. Oh snap, I can see you guys now. Sheesh, what's up? You right? Yeah, oh man. Thank you, man. Actually, Sheesh is the man, eh? Like, this guy makes some flippin' weird music. It's good. Yeah, man. Okay, I'm ready to, like, make sure that your answers are actually getting, your questions are actually getting answered, so.
All right,
Yeah.
let's hear it for Quix one more time, guys.
Suffer, guys.
Fucking legend.
I love you guys so much. And I'm having some water because I'm dying up here, man.
Well earned. Okay, so we have half an hour for questions before we do a little meet and greet outside. So the way this is gonna work is you guys can just raise your hands and I'll walk the mic over to you. Just try to keep it short so we can get as many as we can over the course of the half hour. So yeah, we'll open it up.
Hi.
Hey, man. How you
How's
doing?
it going? My question was, what are you trying to get better at musically?
What am I trying to get better at musically? Piano.
For sure.
I can play piano to the point like I can play chords to a song, and I know like the different chords in like I think a few keys, but I want to be able to get to the point where I'm like really really going to town. I reckon that would improve. Not just like like I don't feel like I need to be able to do that to write bangers, but just I don't know, personally for me, I'd love to be able to play something beautiful that I could actually, instead of being like, oh, I drew this in with MIDI, I'd love to be able to show someone, be like, and also for songwriting, it's so sick when you can get in there and like have like a piano and someone's like, oh man, that sounds tight, and you're like, I know,
Yeah,
when
like
you're good.
full of Ray Charles, just be like.
So piano, I want to like I learned piano when I was like 7 years old, and I learned theory, and then I have no idea how to do any of that anymore. So I don't want to learn theory because I mean, like I never went to production school for this, which is kind of crazy for me to think that I'm like talking to some people who like probably know like way more than me as well. But I don't know, my creative process and feeling out stuff has kind of helped me along the way. So yeah, if I'm going to learn anything, it's going to be piano.
Cool. Thanks for answering my question.
Hey man, that's why I'm here.
What's up, Quix?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming out. I have a production question.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you learned that helped the professional quality of like your mixes and your songs? Because like I have such a hard time just filling up a lot of space.
Yeah.
I found like white noise helps a lot. And I was wondering in your the Future Bass first drop that you played, how much white noise added to that sound and anything else?
Yeah, I think a lot of white noise is like super crucial, especially for all that like top end that like is super hard to hear. It just helps fill out sound. Like in Massive, there is obviously this little box corner down here is all your white noise, and I don't know, you really just want to get it to a you want to make sure your white noise is to a point where it's not super overpowering, but it's not like, you want to almost just push it to the max where it's not annoying you, and it's like you can't really hear it, but you know it's there. And then a few more little tips for me that helped a lot was I'm very sample based with all my drums. So I would be digging to find the best drum sounds. Even when I found my favorites, I'd be like still finding more and finding the best kicks and knowing what kicks work for what kind of songs. Like, a softer kick is obviously could be a nice mellow beat that you're making, or if you want your punchy dubstep kicks could be like the ones that have that like clip almost, like the real top end like pop. And then also like compressing. I'm still on my compressing journey, like I'm still figuring it out. Knowing how much to compress and also knowing, like I remember having the thought back in the day thinking that I probably never need to compress. It's weird. I don't think compressing works, and it's just probably because I didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to learn it because I didn't want to because thought I was better than compressing, but no, compressing is amazing, and I've learned a lot from like thing like essentially compressing drums to basses, to snares, to vocals, and what they sound like, and especially when you have your line of effects and what comes before and after the compressor is super important. And it amazes me that I only learned that in like halfway through last year. I was kind of winging it all that time, just it kind of sounds good because I'd be like, I should like put like this preset compressor on it to make it just sound louder, and then it might need reverb, so I throw a reverb on, and then I'm like, okay, it's cool, never knowing that if I put the reverb that before, that is compressing that verb and making it more verb. So instead of adding like 4 reverbs because it needs to sound super big, dude. But yeah. So those are the few things. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey, what's good, Jono?
What's up, man?
We're chilling at Ship a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, what's up,
Yeah,
man?
what's good?
Good to see you.
Thank you, man. Question is about like finding your true sound. So some days I feel like Carmack, some days I feel like Fisher. What do you suggest, like, as I'm growing? Should I like stick to one sound for
No,
now?
you
or
should just do what you love.
bang it out, do whatever?
You should just do what you love, like
Fine.
100%. Initially, you should do what you love. If you have an artist project and it's like a trap sounding one, and then you come out and you're like, but I love house, and you put a house track out with that could be a bit weird for the viewers. But if you're, say, not at that stage where you're putting music out as like an artist and you're just making beats for fun, then whatever the hell you like, do what you love. Never try and like, if you are an artist and you're putting music out on the regular, don't feel like you're just only limited to that, what your fans perceive you as. I mean, in a way, I would say that Quix is perceived as like a trap act, but also like a trap artist, but also like hybrid with a lot of like dubstep influence, but it's predominantly trap music. And then there's also a little bit of weird Quix where it's like on my EP, I had this track called Ride or Die, which was like this like jazzy EDM, 90 BPM kind of like funky thing. To just throw that in the mix and see how people take that. But like I want to be like writing all kinds of music, just because flipping life's too short to like think that you have to, be this person. You should be yourself first and then just channel it to certain areas. So yeah, man. Carmack's the
Hey, Laundry's the track though, dude.
Sorry?
Laundry, that track is sick, bro.
Oh, thanks, man. That was a long time ago. Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, man. What's up?
Hey, man.
I had a question about, well, I'm about at the point where I'm pretty sure I'm ready to start releasing and all. It's just the whole releasing process is a bit baffling to me. I'm not sure if I should just throw the tracks out there with some strategy. I understand that.
Yeah, totally.
Especially these days. But
yeah, it's weird these days because SoundCloud's not as good as it was back then. And SoundCloud was so easy to release because you didn't need right now, I have no idea how my songs get on Spotify. It's through Dim Mak. But personally, I don't know how they, what the process is to get them on Spotify, but someone on my team knows how to do that. So I kind of just write the music and send it off. But for me, back then, I'd have access to SoundCloud and I'd have my account, I'd press upload, I'd do a little blurb on what kind of style track it is and upload, and I just do it like that. And it was so easy back then. If anything, SoundCloud is still definitely readily available for everyone. It's not as poppin' as it was 5-6 years ago, but I would still just be, if it was me, I would want my music to just be heard regardless, even if it was there's so much of my music on SoundCloud that was terrible. And I'm kind of should probably take it off. But also, for me back then, it was probably the best thing for me because I instantly had people, or I had a small amount of people tuning in and actually listening, or a few people probably listening. But I had already started like my artist project and I had content out. And I think the faster you get content out, like from nothing, is quite important because fans are gonna wanna. I mean, for me, I want my fans to like love me for my music, not because I have a beard or like something like that. So like I feel like if you can get music out to your fans as fast as possible, and obviously like at a later stage where I am right now, it's like there's release dates and there's timing and there's schedules. It's weird, but like at like a very like beginning point of view, like getting it out as fast as possible, I think is a good move. And if that's SoundCloud, it should just be SoundCloud and building your stuff from there and then who knows, out of that someone could hear that and be like, yo, we should write, and then you write and then you put a track out that gets to someone else and they go, oh, I want to be your manager, and then you do that, and then they know people at Spotify and you go like, we can get your songs on Spotify. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easy to get a song on Spotify. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna go to this side.
Man, I feel so far away from like all of you guys on that side. I see you.
Hello.
Hey, man.
I believe it was you that said you were a landscaper.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a huge transition. What was it like going from doing that to where you're at now? Like, or more initially, the change from landscaping to like DJing?
They kind of like overlapped.
Yeah,
because
so-
like I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna try and be a DJ and then leave my job. Like that didn't make sense because I needed money. So it was from, and I mean, like I'd wanted to be a DJ before I was a landscaper, and I was like, I had like a DJ controller before that even started. So I was, I think over the 3 years I worked as a landscaper, I went from doing like, I was 5 days a week, and then it was small gigs on the weekend, and it was probably like one a month kind of like gigs. And some of them were actually midweek shows where I'd play in these small clubs on like a Wednesday night, Thursday morning technically, and go from like a 4 a.m. Like I'd leave my house at like 12. I'd go to sleep and then wake up at midnight, go to the club for like a 1 to 2 a.m. slot or 2 to 3, whatever I was doing, and then go back home for 4 and then wake up at like 6:30 for work again. It was brutal. Kind of glad I did it, but also like for me now, back then I'd be like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, it's stupid. You should like not be tired for work. But and then it got to the point where I was doing 4 days a week. So that this was a couple years later, 4 days a week, so that on Friday that I could travel to Australia and play a Friday night show in Australia, and then maybe a Saturday night show in Australia, and then fly back on Sunday and bloody start work on Monday, mowing some old person's lawn. So it kind of overlapped, and then by the end of when we found out that it was like, okay, we're moving to America for like a short while we tour, like I was like, okay, this is my end date, and it was insane. My boss also my best friend's dad, so I got to work with my best mate, which was amazing, and my boss was actually the man, and he was like, I want you to take. He like asked me, he's like, you should probably take 4 days off so that you can travel and do tour, and he was so stoked for me. Also annoyed because I was a good worker, and yeah. So it kind of overlapped. It was really tough, but also the most amazing feeling when I finished. And I remember I was at the airport flying to America for the first time, and I wrote this like big, long like Facebook post and posted it, and it like was like, I left my job, I'm being a DJ, So yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, man.
And while you were working, like, how was fitting in? Were you able to do like a lot of producing and stuff?
That was at night, and if I was not dead from working. So I would say a lot of it happened on the weekends, and yeah, I'd get home from work and I mean, it was great because it wasn't school where I had like homework or anything to do, so I literally get home and just, like, oh, cool, like I can dive in. Like my manager sent me a remix to do, like let's get that done, or like let's hang out and make some weird beats. But I didn't feel like anything was super serious at that point until I got to the States, and then I met like all my managers and my teams for the first time, and they were like, all right, we're ready to do this. Let's go to like Dim Mak for a meeting. And I'm like, wait, that's real? Like, okay. So everything kind of got a little bit serious.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thank you.
What's up, man?
What's
Thanks
up?
for this. It's very cool. The ghost note thing you were talking about.
Sure.
Could you go back over that? Like,
Yeah.
you're playing the exact same rhythm with different drums at a different volume? Is that what you're saying you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I really rushed saying it. I'm sorry. This could be it here that I've been trying to do. So if I like grab this, and what sucks is that all these are flipping name the same thing, because that's how I stem out these big projects. I just name every kind of. You can obviously hear one's louder than the other, and if I look at the volumes on here, I think that's going left and right, which is probably like tripping you all out. So, so I've got the same sound going the same time. So if I grab this guy and bring it down almost half, it's the most simplest tool to get like your drums sounding super realistic. And it all varies, like how much you want. If you want if you want like a very soft kind of ride feeling in the background, I'm pretty sure if I extend these out, it's gonna sound. Oh. Yeah. I hope that answers what you're.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious. That's cool. It's a cool method.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. What's up?
What's up? I've had some releases and Panda Funk, Bomb Squad, and I want to know how you went about before your team, because they help you with releases.
Sure.
How did you go about personally before the blow up?
It was random, to be honest, and it was a long time ago when SoundCloud was like kind of like there wasn't like a Spotify streaming platform that was like the biggest thing. Yeah, it was. I would be throwing sounds like not even songs. Sometimes just like random beats that I'd made that night that I thought was cool. It also like what I started doing was jumping on other people's like collectives or labels that so like really small labels, and there was one called Trap Podcast that I'd always like go to and like put my songs out. And then there was another one called Trap Sounds on SoundCloud. And these accounts had like, 200,000 followers because they had these crazy SoundCloud gates and would like get everyone to download, and then all of a sudden you'd be following them. And so I would, over time of like collaborating and kind of doing a subtle network, it would be finding those key people and appealing my sound to them, and they would like it, and then they would go, cool, can we put a song out? Or I'd be like, I'd love to like give the song to you to put out on your thing, and then all of a sudden I would be on that SoundCloud download to follow gate, and then all of a sudden my numbers would just skyrocket, and it'd be amazing. And also like I did a lot of collaborating with some bigger artists. Anyone know Party Thieves? Yeah, so Jared's the man, he's my boy, and he gave me a good start at the very beginning. We did a track called House Party, and that gave me, back then I remember that gave me like 10,000 followers on SoundCloud in like 2 weeks or something like that. And my SoundCloud was just like on fire, dude. It was sick. Yeah. So yeah, going through to like small collectives and
Yeah.
and that was the thing that kind of slowly like gave me those little building blocks to get to where I am.
All right, dope. Thanks, man.
Got you.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man.
So, really quick, I want to know how you went about building your team of managers. Because at some point, like, producing is basically like all you should be doing, or at least that's what they say.
Yep.
But I want to know kind of like where they came from, how you found them, and like what their prior background was before they started working with you.
Yeah, good question. It's been a journey. I've had a couple managers, and unfortunately, I've had to get rid of some managers, which suck, because managers are like not just like someone who works on your team. They're like almost like your dad. You know, they're like a parent for you because they're like guiding you, helping you, making sure that you're good, and doing all the back end deals when you're just meant to be producing. And that's how it is right now. You know, I have amazing people working on my team. My manager, and my manager's like intern who does like lots of work for us, and then my wife, which helps as like a TM, also the creative director, you could say, of like the whole brand. So like my whole like face swished apart, like in that the cover EP was like all her doing, and like, you know, so my like the manager I have now, his name's Mark. He's the most amazing guy, and he also manages Vincent. He also manages another act called Stay Loose. He also manages another guy called Young Sidechain. I did a track with Young Sidechain, which featured this small rapper named Gucci Mane. Actually, great story, and I'm gonna say the story really quick. I had no idea who Gucci Mane was when I got the top line from Gucci Mane, which was like almost 2 years ago. And my managers were like, you don't know who this guy is. And I'm like, yeah, like, is he like, you know, is he a big rapper? Like, I mean, I only work with like, you know, like, I don't want to work with like some like little guy and they say like Gucci Mane's like 5 Diplos. And I'm like, okay, okay, this guy is huge. Anyway, so that was funny. And my manager has it's kind of like everyone has their own manager story, I feel. I kind of fell into his plate of things when things started going really well for me, and when I was about to come to the States, everything kind of like ramped up, and then he was like helping on the team at a really great rate. And I was just like, this guy's amazing, and he's actually caring about me so much, and I just want to like now solely work with this guy, and it kind of just fell into place, essentially.
So ultimately, were you actively like looking for other managers, or did they find you?
No, they definitely found me, which was amazing. I mean, like, I think it would have gotten to a point where I was like, if I didn't have a manager, when I, you know, maybe a year after I had a manager, I would have been like, okay, this needs to happen. And the best thing for me was having a manager that was based in the States, and I was in New Zealand, because the connections throughout the States, you guys are very lucky to be here in the United States, where the EDM scene is just like insane. Like in Australia and New Zealand, it's great too, but it's on the smaller scale by a lot. So yeah, I feel like I don't know how to answer that question.
You've done a pretty
to
good
be
job
going
already.
out and finding a manager. I think it's just, man, if you have good music and you're a great guy and you want to just, or girl, any guys and girls definitely, you can, you know, your music will be heard at the end of the day, and if you're diligent and dedicated, you know. So yeah, man.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
Hi.
What's up, man?
Hey, so I was just wondering about like your artist vision, because I know there's a lot of dudes in like the EDM scene who just like make bangers, and I'm like, that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is vision really necessary? Do you need vision to like create like something like an amazing artist project, or would you just need a side, or could it just all be you all encompassing, or like what's your opinion on that?
It's very important, especially for me and where I'm at right now with myself, like having a vision and a brand that, you know, I feel like the music's great, and the music is the core, the very center of everything that, you know, everything essentially revolves around the music. But it's sometimes hard for people to just go straight to the music. They need to see like almost a face, or they need to see an idea or like a feeling. They need to feel something sometimes, or not. They need to see something before they feel the music in a way. That's a good way of putting it. And so being able to give this vision of, or this branding type thing is super important, because it's just like this, it's like an introduction, it's like a handshake almost to like, hey, and then you go into your music and you discuss, because not everyone is, you know, like searching for the bangers. I mean, a lot of us are searching for the bangers because we need the bangers, right? But like, if you look at the whole general population of people who listen to music, or even just roughly generally EDM, like electronic music in general, like having like something visually capturing is super important, I think. So yeah.
Hey man.
Oh, what's up, Zach?
How's it going? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. What's up?
How do you decide where to play when planning out a tour?
I have the best agent in the world. Where is he? He's probably somewhere around here. He's hiding. There he is. My agent, Corey Riskin, is a G. He's also a brother, like a brother to me, and he is very strategic, where he plans out everything. I don't touch the shows at all. He obviously runs a lot past me, and he goes like, we're going to do this, I'm going to do this, and we've got that festival that we have the opportunity to do, and it's awesome when I get calls from him, and the first thing he says is like, all right, good news, and I'm like, oh, what festival's going to be, or like, so I don't really handle any of the show side. I just obviously concentrate all on the music.
Do you ever get a choice to like pick and choose, go to this festival or this club?
Not really. I think the only time that would happen if we have like multiple offers that are on the same day or same night or whatever coming together, and they're both roughly the same price, or they're, you know, the same look, and he goes, what one do you want to do? But that hasn't happened yet. So maybe later. We'll see.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Hi.
What's up, man?
Thanks for coming. This has been awesome. So
I'm
with
glad.
the crazy schedule that you have, how do you deal with like mental health, self-care? Because it sounds pretty taxing, and you got to stay healthy to do everything you're doing.
You do. I'm not like super healthy. Like I love a good in and out, but I don't. And then the thing is, like, I don't have in and out enough. But like, I'll say in and out just because you guys, oh, in and out, haha. But I don't have it enough. I've probably had it like once this year. No, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't drink at my shows. I like alcohol, but I don't drink at my shows just because I'm working. Technically, I'm working. It's also like poison, and I'm like not into like putting the poison in me. I understand that a club is or a show or a festival is a party, and everyone's partying, and it's like, and there's good energy that comes out of that. I did have a few drinks on Holy Ship. I should just mention that. It's a cruise. Come on, it's a cruise. A couple. And yeah, so I think it's very important for me when I'm especially with me and my wife, we don't We don't have alcohol, or potentially if we're like hosting some people in the green room, like some friends come, we'll have a drink with them as like a hosting kind of thing. But it's not like shot 2, 3, and going intense. So that's a big thing for us. And then also we on the road eating at an airport suck because it's a little bit more pricey because it's airports, and also the food is not always amazing. When we get to cities when we're playing, the first thing we check on like Yelp or whatever is Vietnamese pho, because it's just like, oh man, it's so good, and it's like nice, and it's like soup broth with some rice noodles and a little bit of protein, and you don't feel like super heavy afterwards. Like eating burgers and like bad fast food before shows is like not great. And I've never touched drugs before in my life, so that also is like helpful because it's not like a thing that I feel like I need to have when I'm in the moment and everyone's on something and they're like, do it. I'm like, oh, okay. No, it's like never been an issue for me. So that's obviously really great. And I think overall, like those, drugs, alcohol, food, and making yourself healthy is good. But then the main thing for me actually is having my wife on tour with me. We've grown so close and so much stronger together over the last 2 years of like having this brutal tour schedule where we do like 4 nights in a row of like in 4 cities and like having no sleep sometimes one night and going straight to the airports. And then there was like 1 week, I don't think it was actually a week, it was like 3 or 4 days where I actually slept more on planes than in an actual bed on the ground, which was like, that's crazy to me, eh? But yeah, having my wife, haven't touched drugs, and then also no alcohol at shows or minimal alcohol intake. So yeah.
Did your wife know what she was getting into when she married you?
Yeah, she knew me before like the whole DJ thing kind of blew up. We've been together for 9 years.
Wow, congrats.
Oh, wait, 8 years. Married 2, and then married 2, and then we were dating for 4, so maybe 6 years actually. Wait, married 3 years in July. What's up? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thanks for that question. That's always like an interesting question.
All right, so we have time for 2 more questions, and I want to prioritize production-related questions while we have the wizard himself here.
Also, I want to if we can throw my email up there.
Yeah.
And just like, if you didn't get a question answered, whatever, just like hit me email and I'll reply in the next day. I got you.
Amazing. So yeah, production questions, please.
Prod questions.
So when you're making a song and you get stuck and you got writer's block, how exactly do you get over it?
There's like a couple of ways, and I reckon different ways work for different people. So there's not like just one answer, but you wanna probably the reason why you get writer's block is just because you're hitting a creative wall and you can't push it, and it's like the creativity, everything you try is like going down. It's like, not this avenue, not this way, not. And in a way, you need to get out of that creative space, or you get out of that session, that project that you're making, spend 20 minutes maybe listening to other music, go eat an apple, I don't know, have some food, watch TV for a second, go stream Fortnite, whatever. I love watching Fortnite. I hate playing it because I'm so bad. And then go into a new project or start something new. Try, if you're really wanting to be creative at this moment, maybe you have you go, oh, I've got a couple of hours tonight that I really want to be productive in. And then say the first half an hour sucks. spend like 10 minutes doing something else, come back and start a new project. Like start something super fresh or get inspired. The best way to like start this whole or break this like this writer's block is to just get inspired. Because as soon as you get inspired, you've got this new kind of tangent you're going on, and you'll be able to be like, oh my God, okay, I'm ready for this next thing, and you can flow it into that. And then if that fails, maybe you should just try tomorrow night. That's probably like the best idea, you know. Go give yourself a break and chill, because your brain, I feel like your brain could probably only take so many like nah, that doesn't work, until you're just like fed up and you're like, stuff this. Like, and I have a lot of those moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm very, very over this song right now. Like the track Giving Up, I'm pretty sure by the end when I was stemming it out, I'm like, I've heard this song so much, so over it. But yeah, that's what it takes sometimes. So yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
What's up, Quix?
Hey, man.
Thanks again for being here. I just had a quick question. So on your song "Get Down" for the main bass lead, I was just kind of curious the process of designing that sound and how you came up with it, because it's pretty unique.
Is it the first drop?
Yeah, the first drop.
Yeah. I'm remembering it now. I don't know if I probably have it in here. I could play it because I probably want to hear it before. Oh yeah, shout out Mrs. Quix on the dope pic. Everyone's loving your pictures. Oh, cool. Olivia has an email that we can all like send our stuff to. So I'll read it out for you. Okay, here we go. This is not playing, probably because this. Yeah, it's two sounds going. The first, that's one like serum, and then there's another serum that does the real staccato-y, like. In all honesty, like I remember that preset. It was a preset. It was a cymatics preset, and it was. Or it might have been like some getter preset, actually. It was about a year and a half ago when I wrote that lead line. So it's very old to me, which is funny, but it's been processed a lot over the last 6 months from like getting the EP ready. I can't really tell you, not because I'm like holding out, but because I don't know. And that sound was like a serum cymatics preset, or like a getter vibed cymatics. I know they don't really like each other, but yeah, it was a sick getter patch that was tight. And then I kind of like I got the patch, changed it up a little bit and to how it like you know it's doing a bunch of like sliding and whatnot in here. Also, the second drop of this was meant to be a What's or Not Bower Quix collab. But I was just like, it's been a year and they haven't touched it, so like I'm just gonna take it. So. then for the ending of this track, I was just like, I don't want to make an outro, so I just found this sample of like someone like had a stick along like a fence, running their stick along the fence like. So I was just like, sometimes you don't need an outro. Sometimes it just needs to hit that. We're done.
Thank you.
Sheesh, thank you, man.
Let's make some noise for Quix one more time, guys.
I got this email. It's, I'm gonna like, I don't even know if I can do it on notes here, actually. How do we get this up on here? Just read it out. I'll read it out. It's really easy. It's one word, all lowercase. Questions for, number 4, questions for Quix. Wow. You just make that email now? Man, she's good, eh? Yeah. Woo. Questions for with the number 4 Quix. And yeah, I'm really like I would have loved to just stay here until midnight, like answering questions, but at gmail.com. I should, yeah, not just questions for Quix. That's it. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I'm sorry if it was like weird at the start and I was just like kind of tripping, but I really hope like you got at least like one thing out of it that you can take home and like better yourself with your productions and this was awesome. Thank you to JBL, man. You guys are crazy.
Dude, thank you.
JBL, man.
It's a privilege.